You must have faith in the path. And as well, with this faith, you must have the knowing to succeed. You must have the knowing to succeed and to know who you are and who you are meant to be, who you are meant to become. Because it is from this that we know ourselves. Because when you have faith, when you trust, I'm not talking about blind faith. No, I'm talking about knowing. You must know who you are. You must know who you're meant to become and what you need to do. So, what's up, you guys? We're back at it again. Welcome to Occult Cat TV. I'm your host, O'Shea. As well, you can call me Atsanu or Cool Cat, whatever you guys like. So, today, the nature of this discussion, the nature of this topic is Hekate. So, we have a full moon tomorrow night, I believe it is. And as it being this full moon, I have a message from Hekate. So usually I'm talking about masculine energies, right? I'm always talking about Lucifer, Belial, Azazel, King Paimon. But now I'd like to really introduce to you guys my wife, my lover, my spiritual lover. So I have a message to you guys from Hekate. You must have faith in the path. You must have faith in the path. You must have faith in the path. And as well, with this faith, you must have the knowing to succeed. You must have the knowing to succeed and to know who you are and who you are meant to be, who you are meant to become. Because it is from this that we know ourselves. Because when you have faith, when you trust, I'm not talking about blind faith. No, I'm talking about knowing. You must know who you are. You must know who you're meant to become and what you need to do. So, it is from our intuition that we gain guidance, right? So develop your intuition. This will help you to have faith in the path. This will help you to have knowing within the path. It is from this that we become our greatest version. From the intuition, your intuition leads to guidance. Your intuition is your internal guidance mechanism. It is leading you to where you're meant to be and as well who you're meant to become, right? And then it's from this guidance that we gain clarity. We gain clarity within the individual, within ourselves, and as well who we're meant to become. So intuition equals guidance, equals clarity within ourselves. Develop a strong intuition when you are in the occult field, when you are walking the left-hand path specifically. You must have and develop intuition to have discernment. You must be able to discern the nature of reality. You must be able to discern what is good for you, what is bad for you, right? As well, what is intuition and discernment for what is meant for you, right? You have to be able to weed out the source in this reality, because we live in a light illusion. We live in a matrix that's full of illusions. So when you can see truth with clarity, this is how you know where to go. So lately I've been in the dark. I didn't know where I was going to go. I've had so much challenging me lately. And as those things have been challenging me, a part of me wants to just not have faith, right? I think it's easier to just give up and not have faith, to not trust in these beings, to not trust in Hekate. It's easier to not trust because it takes heart to trust. And many of us don't want to follow our heart. But it is through our heart that we are led to source. It is through our heart that we are led to becoming our greatest version. And as I said that, a crow literally just, or a raven, literally a blackbird just flew right by my window, actually. So we must have heart. And that was Hecate. That was either Hecate or Lucifer. So we must have heart in our being. We must have heart in knowing who we are. We must love ourselves in order to ascend. We truly must love ourselves and embrace this self-love. Because it's from self-love that we can be disciplined to not do the wrong things. Maybe we're using substances, or we're drinking a lot, or we're smoking a lot, or we're doing things that are detrimental to ourselves, or we're just fucking a whole bunch of random chicks, right? Why? It's because you don't love yourself. You degrade yourself. You don't respect yourself. You don't honor yourself. And it's in the same way that when you don't respect yourself, you're not respecting these beings. You must respect yourself. You must love yourself for what you've been through. Because it is through loving yourself that you truly become your greatest version. If you have no love for yourself, then what are you? Right? You're just a leaf blowing in the wind, serving anyone's agenda, anyone's purpose, because you lack self-esteem. But truly, through having faith and knowing within yourself, right? Again, not blind faith, but truly knowing. Know thyself, knowing I need to go here, I need to do this. Even me making this video was me knowing I had to do it, that it was meant, that it was that it was already on my channel, right? Because that's what I felt when Hecate was telling me that this video that I should make a video on, you must have faith in the path and knowing to succeed. Because I've been challenged lately to see if are you in your faith, O'Shea? Are you in your faith? Do you trust us? Do you trust Lucifer? Do you trust Hecate? Do you trust Belial? Even when you have no signs showing you to have trust, do you trust us? These voices in your head, right? Your spirit guides. Do you trust your spirit guides? Do you trust Hecate? Do you trust Lucifer? No, I don't trust them. Then you don't trust yourself. Because all these beings are is higher aspects of yourself showing you who you are and as well who you're meant to become. So by having faith in Hecate, by having faith in the path, all this merely means is that we're having faith within ourselves, within our own heart, and who we're meant to become. So with that, we must have discernment for what is meant. You must have discernment for what is meant for you, as well as what is not meant. Have the intuition to discern what is meant for you and what isn't meant. Enlightenment. Enlightenment is what is meant. When you truly embrace your heart, when you truly embrace loving yourself, this is first where we ascend. If you do not love yourself, if you do not embrace the heart, right? People always talk about chakras. I don't really feed into that archonic system. Chakras are parasites. You need to unify your whole system into one being. But it's about the different centers and understanding them, right? So we have our mind's eye center, our third eye, our crown center, our heart center, our gut, right? So this is where intuition comes from. You must have this in alignment. Eating healthy really helps you with having a good intuition, a clear discernment. A clear gut is a clear mind. When you're eating things like, and I do the same at times, because sometimes I do like to, have cheat days. Pizza. If you're eating pizza can create a lot of parasites. If you're not dissolving the parasites, right? I got a pizza for Satan last night because Satan loves pizza. They love these kind of offerings, right? They love weed. They love alcohol. They love tobacco, they love cigars, right? These beings love cigars, whether it be Santa Muerta or it be Azazel, Belial. These beings love these kind of offerings. The offerings that are death essence to us, that are detrimental to us, right? You drink way too much, detrimental. You smoke way too much, detrimental. But if you ritualize the weed, if you ritualize the tobacco, if you ritualize the alcohol, then this is actually bringing the divine essence of those beings into your body and more into your life. So have discernment for what you need to eat, right? When you have a healthy and a clean gut biome, right, then you're starting to think a lot clearer, healthier. Your mind is healthy, right? So when you start to eat healthy, you start to think healthy, and then that also goes to your heart healthy. That's a whole craze right now, being heart healthy. The better you treat yourself, the better you treat your body, the better you treat your mind, your heart, your mind, your gut, as well as your crown, your connection to source. You unify all these beings. You unify all these essences within yourself into one being. And then you can use this to create proper discernment for yourself. So, as we work on ourselves and we clear these stagnant energies, whether it be in our gut, right, or our heart, or our mind, or our crown, this is when we're unifying ourselves. Everyone wants to be up in their head, like always thinking, intellectualizing things. I'm intellectual. I know all these book smarts. I went to college. I'm smart. I know all this book smart. The intellectual mind will take you out of the heart really fast, really quick. My wife, TamaRa, shout out to TamaRa. Thank you for all that you do. True embodiment of Hekate. She was telling me earlier that I intellectualize things way too much. And that makes sense because I'm a masculine, right? So that would make sense that I intellectualize because I want to be logical. The right masculine is logical, ground, must build empire. But I was receptive, right? I was receptive to her message. And from being receptive, she was telling me I'm being too logical. I'm getting out of my heart. I'm being too drawn out of my heart. And that's the thing. When you get taken out of the heart, you become logical. And this is what blocks you off from source. This is what blocks you off from loving yourself. This is what creates the elite, right? This is what creates the elite. People that step on others for gain. People that manipulate, that use other people. They're not in their heart. They're not in their self-esteem. I'm so sorry. They're not compassionate for others, right? So compassion is a bodhisattva trait. Oh, I don't know if you can see my dog. Compassion is a bodhisattva. That's my dog's name, Bodhisattva. That's my hellhound, my little hellhound in the corner. Thank you, Hekate. As I said that, it was 11:11. So, the heart center, right? Compassion is what comes from the heart. So, if you guys noticed, I started to feel more, when I said compassion, I started to feel more joyful, more loving, right? So, I was trying to intellectualize even what I was going to say. I was still channeling, but I was being intellectual. So, when I dropped down into my heart frequency, I started to realize I'm more joyful, right? I'm more blissful. I'm more happy. Everyone wants to be in their mind. Oh, I have to do this. I have to think about this. Oh, and they get all frustrated. But they don't realize that the whole point is to be in your heart. It's the same. People are in their gut, right? So when you're trying to will things into existence, right? Your gut, your willpower, right? The plexus. When you're trying to will things into existence, such as men do this a lot, masculines do this a lot. Oh, I want this, so I go out, I achieve. You're not being receptive to the path. You're not being receptive to Hekate. You're not being receptive to these beings, to yourself. You're not even being receptive to yourself because you want. You're forcing on reality the things in which you desire instead of being in the core, moving up into your heart, having discernment and understanding and knowing that you're covered, you're fine. That if you have faith in the path and the knowing to succeed, that you will always be guided along your journey. You will always be guided to who you are and as well who you're meant to become. This is why it's not just the heart though, right? So when we have our heart in alignment and we know ourselves and who we are through our heart, a good crystal is rose quartz if you want to embrace love, or kunzite. This is a piece of kunzite. Kunzite's a really good heart stone. So, when you are in your heart, this is when your reality starts to manifest because you're not forcing things on reality. Well, even when it comes to my lover, right, TamaRa? Shout out to you again. I didn't force on reality, I want this person, and try to go out and just find a random chick and date her. No. I said to the universe, I'm going to stop dating. I'm going to start loving myself. I'm going to start loving myself. I'm going to stop fucking hoes and shit like that. Not that I wasn't banging hoes. I've always been in year-long relationships, or at least a year, 2 year, 3 year long relationships. So I'm a Libra, so I'm more of a lover. I like to have a partner. So when I said I'm not going to date anyone that's not meant for me anymore, Hecate recognized this. And then from that, she actually brought my wife into my life. She brought TamaRa into my life. And you guys have seen her on the channel. And I was receptive. So I could have been like, oh, this is some random chick. Like, why do I got to date her? Because Hecate even told me, like, this is your woman. This is your wife. And I was like, oh, well, like, how do I know that? In my mind, like, you know, the ego mind versus the intuition. My heart was saying, my heart was telling me no, but my body was telling me yes. But my body was telling me no, but my heart is telling me yes. Like, right? So my heart was telling me that this is the person that's meant to be. We had a very receptive heart center. So I think that a lot of people negate relationships that are meant for egoic pleasure, right? The ego will mislead you. You might see a chick that's like a fucking 9 or 10, and maybe you start dating her. And then you realize she has a whole bunch of problems that every guy that's ever like treated her a certain way didn't treat her right or something like that, right? And then you realize, okay, just because she's a 10 doesn't you know what, I shouldn't just date for looks, right? So I really for myself, I was receptive to love. And it just so happens that as I started to talk to TamaRa, I started to love her more and more. The reason I couldn't see the love that I had for this person is because I wasn't in my heart, right? So when I met her, she awakened my heart. I was always in my logical mind. I was always thinking. I was always trying to willpower, force things into reality. I'm the masculine, must conquer, must achieve, right? And the thing is, no. It's about being receptive. It's about taking the path of least resistance, right? And from taking the path of least resistance, everything just starts to come to us. We no longer have to force into reality the things that we want. We are now being receptive to the path and what it's meant. The more receptive you are to the path, the more that you will succeed. This is when you are led to love and led to abundance. Maybe you're like, oh, I want to do this business. I've been doing this business for 2 years. I got to keep doing it. And then maybe Beelzebub or Belial's like, no, go do this business. Like, but now I got to restart. But if you love yourself and you feel that and you trust these beings and they're telling you that you should start something new, you should start something new. That's what having faith in the path is. You're blind in the beginning, but then you choose to move forward in that darkness, in that unknowing, oh, this uncomfortable, right? In that unknowing, and then this is what steps you in to your being, right? I didn't know this channel would be so successful. I didn't know I was going to start my empire in the beginning when I was working with Lucifer or Azazel or Belial, right? I didn't know Hekate. I didn't know of this being at all. But the more that I journeyed into the night side path, I noticed Hekate was always with me, even though I didn't really know her. I didn't know who she was. I even talked to King Paimon. I'm like, can you guide me to Hekate? I want to learn about this being, this goddess. King Paimon, can you show me how to connect, in a sense? Because I just didn't know how. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll teach you. And then King Paimon's closest to Lucifer, so Paimon brought me to Lucifer, and then Lucifer showed me even more in-depth into Hekate and her mysteries. And the only way that I achieved this was from following my path, was from following my purpose and having faith in the path. In order to know thyself, to know who I am, and from that to know who I'm meant to become. We don't know who we're going to become. I didn't know I'd be an occultist when I was 12, even 15. I didn't know. I became a shaman at 18. And then from that led me to different shamanic beings, that led me into the occult, the left-hand path, right? That led me to balance myself and understand the overall nature of reality. If I wasn't all in, if I didn't choose to walk the path, I would have never succeeded. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't make the videos and do the work. So that's why I'm here. If you guys stayed all the way to the end of this video, the message is the same as the beginning. Have faith in the path. Have faith in the path and you will succeed in everything that you are doing. When you have faith in the path, this is what will guide you to love. This is what will guide you to abundance. This is what will guide you to becoming your greatest version. When these beings take you in and they empower you and they show you all these things and you go through shadow work and you want to hate them and yell at them and like, why'd you do this to me? Why did it? They're not doing anything to you. You did it to yourself. All they merely are is showing you your faults. Belial will throw in your face all the things you're not doing, right? Hekate showed me, like, O'Shea, you don't love yourself. And I'm like, you know what? Really, I don't love myself. But she's like, I'll show you what love is. I'll show you how to love yourself. And I said, you know what, Hekate? Show me. Truly, thank you for all that you do, Hekate. Because she showed me what love was. She showed me to love. My wife is a reflection of and an embodiment of Hekate. And she's so beautiful. And that's so beautiful that Hekate led me to love. Truly, Hekate led me to love. So, for me, I dated a whole bunch of women that were like no longer serving me, right? They were in my past. These guides always told me, stop living in the past. The friends who you thought were your friends, who you thought were there for you, you surely noticed that they're not there for you, right? So when TamaRa came into my life, I started to truly see what love was. That, yeah, my friends didn't love me. The people around me, no one loved me. They just wanted conversations, or they just wanted to use me in some way, or just have me around as energy, because I empower them. I empower those I'm around, just like I'm empowering you with this video, giving you these energies. But at least you're someone I trust. You came to this channel and you wanted to learn this gnosis and this wisdom, and I brought it forward for you guys. So truly, thank you guys for being here. The last thing is, right, so I had to give up, I had to sacrifice my whole life, who I was. I even had a near death. And it's from that moment that I actually let go of everything. Even right now, I'm in the middle of a move. I had to go into the darkness not knowing where I was going to go, not knowing where I was going to stay. But I followed what Hekate told me. I followed the path. They said, have faith. Just continue to move forward. Have faith. We are aligning everything for you. And it is because they are aligning everything that everything is meant. Right? So by you following the path, you are aligning everything that is meant for you. When these beings tell you to do something, like, right, like not like a slave, like, oh, are they controlling me? I always have to do things? No. But when they say, this is a big thing, this is a big decision that you should do, you should make, embrace that decision. Embrace where you need to go and where you're led. So we need to know what's not meant in order to know what is meant, right? So I had to let go of all these friends no longer serving me. I had to let go of an ex, right? We broke up like last year. It was like a month or two later that TamaRa actually came into my life. So I had to let go of all these things no longer serving me to actually create room, right? Create room in order for me to grow, in order for me to ascend. And it's the moment that I let go of all my friends that weren't serving me, that weren't there for me, right? When I was there's times where I didn't eat, where I was kind of starving in a sense. There's times where I just needed help, and I reached out to people and they didn't give me help, even though I was always there for them. This just showed me that that's not a friend. That's truly not a friend. Not saying that people are forced to help you, but I just truly saw that that wasn't someone that was benefiting me. And I've also learned a lot about friendship and people being there for you, because for me, my near deaths were always around people that, like for myself, I used to do substances, right? Like coke and ecstasy. I was always around other people when I did it. If I wasn't around those people, I didn't even get the intuition to do it. So there's these people that were detrimenting their life. I was seeing something that I didn't want, and yet I kept doing it. That's not self-love. That's low self-esteem. I was a sheep. I wasn't following my guidance, my intuition, and my guides. And sure, that was years ago. But it's because I didn't follow the path when I meant to that my whole reality had to be stripped away even further. So I had to know what I didn't want, right? I don't want people like that anymore in my life, in a sense. I don't want love that doesn't serve me, that isn't there for me, right? I don't want someone that doesn't love me, in order to know what I want. So I had to go through what I don't want in order to know what I want. So it's the same thing with these beings as well. Do you like Belial? Do you like Beelzebub? Oh, I didn't have the best interactions with Belial, but I really like Beelzebub. Right? It's the same being at its core, but it's different aspects to show you different deific masks. So, right? So you're discerning, this being is more beneficial for me. I feel more drawn to Beelzebub. And then as I'm drawn to Beelzebub, right, I want to work with Beelzebub. The same thing with, do you want to work with King Paimon or Azazel? Right? Finding out which one's more beneficial. Azazel is going to really take you by the horns, right? And like show you reality. Whereas King Paimon more sits down and he teaches you things. He talks like pretty much like I'm doing now. He talks to you and he channels. And when you listen, he'll give you intense knowledge that will completely change your life overnight. I used to sit in ritual with King Paimon for hours, like at least 3 or 4, sometimes 8. And so guys, to pretty much wrap up this video, you must have faith in the path. You must have knowing, not blind faith. Not blind faith, right? Have faith in the path, but not blind faith. Have knowing. And from this knowing, you will become your greatest version, right? So you must know what you don't want in order to know what you do want. And that's why you had to have your whole life stripped away, your past self, you could say, so that you could become the person in which you desire. So you could become your greatest self. And with that, guys, this is Occult Cat TV. I'm your host, O'Shea. This was a message not only from myself, but Hekate and as well the Infernal Divine. A message on loving yourself, following the path, staying true to who you are and your intuition. Know you guys got this. If you were led to this video, it is most likely that your guides brought you here because you are on the right path. You are doing everything right, and I'm just confirmation. I'm just validation. Because my life is growing, My empire is expanding. My reality is so fucking beautiful, and I love life, guys. And I wish the same for you. Peace, abundance, wealth, success, and love. May all of this now come into your life. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Stay tuned for more updates, more videos. Know that there's a lot of positive things coming to my channel. And with that, guys, if you would like to book a consultation with me, I do hour-long sessions as well as half-an-hour sessions. I do tarot and divination as well as spell work. On top of that, I'm a manifestation and a life coach, teaching you guys to become your greatest version. And with that, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace and namaste. You guys got this.